Hello everyone, my name is Sumitra Swain. I welcome you back to the UNC Digital classes. We are studying financial management, and in today's class we are going to study the dividend policy and its decision. Before starting the subject, we have to understand that what do you mean by dividend? Okay. So dividend refers to that part of a profit of a company which is distributed by the company among its shareholders. So shareholders are the people who have invested money in your company. They are the people who have contributed the capital as the fund when you are requiring the fund for the investment. So we have already studied that in financing decision we have to take a decision that how much of money we have to borrow or we have to utilize from the source of your equity shareholders. Okay. So here shareholder will be only meant for, or it will only refers to the equity shareholders. We have to keep it in our mind. Okay. So shareholders are the people who have invested their money in our company at the time when we have required it. So at the end of the year when we are earning a bulk amount of profit, it's our term that what we are paying them back. So we can say that dividend is the reward for the shareholders for the investment they have made in our company. Okay. Next is that the determination of dividend policy means we have to calculate or we have to take a decision that the earning available for equity shareholders are to be distributed 100% or fully to all the equity shareholders, or we can take a decision where we can distribute a particular part of the EPS, that is your payout ratio, and we can keep the other remaining part with us as a retained earning. We can keep a part of our profit as retained earning if we have a scope or if we have a chance for better proposal, or if we can see that there are better opportunity for the organization to growth. Okay. So there are two things we have to keep in mind, that we have to calculate that what will be our payout ratio, and second is how much of money we can keep as our retained earning. But the thing is that the payout ratio and the retained earning, when it will be together, it will be 100%. Okay. So it is written that the payment of dividend involves some legal as well as financial consideration. It is difficult to determine a general dividend decision. It means that we cannot say specifically that how much of money we can keep it with us as a retained earning. Okay, for different firms or for different timing period, there will be different type of composition, that what will be our payout ratio and what will be our retained earning. Because dividend decision has to be taken considering different or special circumstances of an individual case. So those special cases or those circumstances are determinants we are going to study in this class. So the determinants of dividend policy can be: first one is your legal restriction, next is magnitude and trend of earning, desire and type of shareholders, nature of industry, age of the company, future financial requirement, government economic policy, taxation policy, control objective, requirement of institutional investor, stability of dividend, and liquid resources. So here in this class we are going to discuss about each of the determinants in more detail or in briefly. So let's start. First comes your legal restriction. Legal provision relating to dividend are significant, means it has a very powerful role because they lay down a framework within which dividend policy is formulated. Okay. So there is always a stipulated or there is a boundary or framework within which we have to act. So in organization also there are some legal restrictions within which we have to make the dividend decision. Okay. This provision require that dividend can be paid only out of current profit or past profit after providing for depreciation, or out of money that is provided by the government for the payment of dividend in possession of guarantee given by the government. Okay. So the first thing is we have to follow the legal restriction, then only we can look after for all the circumstances or the other situations. So here we can say that the main or the important aspect of dividend policy is your magnitude and trend of earning. It is saying trend means when we will compare or we will see the historical profit or the past data, we can see that what the company is earning. Okay. And if the company is earning this much of profit and how much of dividend it is distributing from the last years, and in this year how much of dividend we are going to distribute. Okay, so we can say that looking at the trend we can find out our dividend. The amount and the trend of earning is an important aspect of dividend policy. It is rather the starting point of dividend policy, as dividend can be paid only out of the present or past year profit. Earning of a company fixed the upper limit on dividend. Next is your desire and type of shareholders, means there are different type. It is not like that there is only one equity shareholder in your company. Okay, there are thousands of equity shareholders. So if it is more than one people, then everyone's like or everyone's desire or their need will be different. So we have to respect everyone's choice. Here the director or the board of director are the representative of on behalf of the all the equity shareholders, so they will give the importance to the desire of every shareholder in the declaration of dividend, as they are the representative of shareholders. It depends upon the economy status of investors, such as, see, there are I have already told you that there are different type of shareholders. Someone can be a retired person, or someone can be a widow, or someone who is very weaker person, means their income is very low, they are just depending upon the dividend. Okay, so there are different type of people whose economical status is different, so we have to take into consideration about all the shareholders, and from their point of view we have to take a decision that how much of dividend we are going to distribute. Next is your nature of industry. As I have already told you that dividend cannot be very stagnant or it cannot be a very particular amount or ratio, because the firms are already different in their nature. Someone can be a IT sector, someone can be a medical sector or anything. If the industry are different in the nature, then everyone's profit will vary, and as per the profit will vary, the dividend will also vary. So the nature of company is also considered as it affects the dividend policy. Certain industry have a comparatively steady and stable demand irrespective of the prevailing economic condition. And on the other hand, if the earnings are uncertain, as in case of luxury goods, conservative policies should be followed. Next is your age of the company. See, if one company is there who is prevailing or who is existing in the market from 15 to 20 years, the way they will provide the dividend, it is not going to be same as a company who is just starting. Yes or no? If a company is just starting the business only before 1 or 2 years, the dividend decision they are going to take is completely different. Okay, so it also matter that what is the age of the company. The age of the company also influence the dividend decision of a company. A newly established concern has to limit the payment of dividend, because if it will distribute all the earning available for the equity shareholders as the dividend, then what will be the retained earning? And if it will not take or it will not keep any retained earning with us, then there will be no growth, or we cannot say that the new enterprise can develop in future. So it is very much important that what is the age of that company. The next point comes under your dividend decision policy is your future financial requirement. It is not only that we have to take care of the desire of the shareholders, or it is not like only that what is the age of the company. Also we have to take into consideration that what is the future financial requirement of a company. Okay. So the financial manager or the board members have to take into consideration that what are the financial need or financial requirement that are to be taken care in the business. In this way, if a company has a very highly profitable investment opportunity, it can convince its shareholders that there is a bigger plan or there is a investment proposal with us. So let's keep a part as a return earning so that we can invest it in the future. Okay. So we can convince the shareholder to increase the future earning and stabilize its financial position by limiting the dividend. We can limit the dividend that we are paying them, and in this way we can increase the retained earning. Next comes the government's economy policy. As we have already studied in the legal restriction, there are some legal purview or there are some legal boundaries we have to follow. Likewise, we have to follow the government economy policy also. The dividend policy of a firm has also to be adjusted to the economy policy of the government. The company cannot pay more than 33% of the profit or 12% of the paid up capital. Okay. So either it is 33% of your profit or 12% of your paid up capital, whichever will be lower, we have to pay accordingly to that. Okay. Next comes your taxation policy. The taxation policy of the government also affect the dividend decision of a firm. A high or low rate of business taxation affect the net earning of the company. As we have already studied in the previous slides or in the previous classes, that as we are going to calculate our net profit, okay, first it is your EBIT and then we have to pay the interest, then immediately after that we have to pay the tax. After paying the tax, whatever will be remained, as per that we have to calculate our dividend, yes or no? Then preference dividend, and after that we will calculate the earning available for the equity shareholders. So we have to mark that what is our taxation policy, means it is a high rate of tax or a low rate of tax. According to that we can take a decision about our dividend policy. Next comes your control objective. When a company pay high dividend out of its earning, it may result in the dilution of both control and earning for the existing shareholders. See, if I am paying maximum to maximum of my earning from the profit as dividend, okay, so if in future there will be a better opportunity, okay, and we need maximum to maximum finance or fund, what we will do? We have to again issue equity shareholders or equity fund, okay, and there are already existing 5,000 equity shareholders. Again you will invest 3,000 more equity shareholders. So what will happen? There will be a increase in the number of equity shareholders, and if the number of shareholders will increase, then the control will be diluted. Okay. In case of a high dividend payout ratio, the retained earnings are insignificant, obviously, because we are paying the maximum percentage of dividend as the payout ratio. So obviously there will be less percent as the retained earning, yes or no? So if the retained earning is insignificant and the company will have to issue new share to raise fund to finance in its future requirement, the control of the existing shareholder, means we are talking about the existing shareholders, okay, so it will be diluted if they cannot buy the additional share issued by the company. As I have already told you that if there are existing 3,000, let's say there are 3,000 equity shareholders, and they these 3,000 equity shareholders could not buy the new equity shares, then we have to invite more to more outsider equity shareholders. So the ownership will be diluted, and if the ownership will be diluted, it will be very difficult to control the organization. Next comes your requirement of institutional investors. Dividend policy of a company can be affected by the requirement of the institutional investor, such as there are different type of institutional investors. They can be your financial institutions, they can be your banks, insurance corporation, or anyone. These investors usually favor a policy of regular payment of cash dividend. Okay. So there are different type of dividend also. So if we are talking about the institutional investors, they normally prefer a regular, okay, there should be a stagnant or there should be a very continuous mode of payment as the dividend, and they stipulate their own term with regard to the payment of dividend on equity shares. Next comes stability of dividend. Stability means we have to keep a proper balance, okay. Stability of dividend is another important guiding principle in the formulation of a dividend policy. It refers to the payment of dividend in a very regular manner. The shareholders generally prefer the payment of such regular dividend. If we are talking about the different type of shareholders, and we have talked about the poor economically background shareholders, they can be your old peoples, or they can be your retired peoples, or widow, or those people who depend upon the dividend for the expenses they have to bear in the day to day life. Okay, so these type of people normally prefer the regular type of dividend. So it is most suitable to concern those earning as expected to remain stable over a number of years. So we cannot say that if that if the previous year the dividend was 5% and we are going to reduce that. We have to magnitude the earning, and also we have to follow the trend also, only because there are different type of shareholders and we have to take care of them. The last point under the determinants of dividend decision policy, that is your liquid resources. Liquid resource means the resource which you can say your working capital management also. Okay. So the dividend policy of a firm is also influenced by the availability of your liquid resources. Although a firm may have sufficient available profit to declare dividend, means I am saying that I am a company and I am earning a huge amount of profit. It is not necessary that if I am earning a huge amount of profit, I have to pay proportionately high dividend. Okay, if there is a requirement of my working capital, then I also can keep a part of dividend for meeting the day-to-day expenses or the liquid resources. Okay, so it is written that although a firm may have sufficient available profit to declare dividend, yet it may not be desirable to pay dividend if it doesn't have sufficient liquid resources. Hence, the liquidity position of a company is as important to consider in paying dividend. So, these are different type of determinants which will help a financial manager to decide that how much of money we have to pay as a dividend, and all the points are not necessary for every company. You have to choose different, or we have to take some of the circumstances, or as per our situation we have to take decision. Okay, so these are the various points which will vary from firm to firm, or from industry to industry, and also from time to time. So we have to take care of that, and accordingly we have to take a better decision that how much of dividend we are going to pay and how much of retained earning we have to keep with ourselves. With this, I am ending the video lecture class here. I hope this video will help you to understand what is dividend and what is dividend decision policy, and what are the different factors that help a financial manager to determine the dividend decision. If there is any doubt, you can write it in the comment box and I will answer there. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.